Breaking right now. New calls for King Charles to strip Prince Harry of his princely title and his dukedom after he went on American television overnight and made blatant political digs about Donald Trump and the US administration, all while, and this is what's most extraordinary, Harry and Meghan had just got the news that the prince's father-in-law, Thomas Markle, was languishing in a Filipino hospital in intensive care after emergency surgery to change his life. Now, there's a huge amount to unpick here. And the first thing that I want to say is that Thomas Markle is a friend of mine and the Markle family are friends of mine. And for anyone who dares say that what he has just been through overnight is any type of publicity stunt, let me tell you, it's not. He has undergone life-changing surgery to save his life. I will not reveal what that means for his body because it's not my place to do so. But I have been in contact with Samantha Markle just before we came on air, who says that the situation is much worse than we thought, and details will be unfolding, but my dad's going to need a lot of care. So this is an extremely serious situation involving Thomas Markle's health. And I was devastated when I found out last night that he was in intensive care fighting for his life. But I was actually disgusted when I saw at that exact moment, Meghan Markle had posted on her Instagram account this video of Prince Harry making an absolute fool of himself with Stephen Colbert. This is like some type of weird TikTok skit. Watch.
So if you was treated like a king for the day, what would you want me to do for you?
Beg for me, probably.
You'd want me to do what? Beg?
Beg. Beg.
Beg?
B-A-K. Beg.
What?
Bake.
Oh, bake!
That man is in our line of succession. He's a fool. He's humiliating the British royal family. But the fact that he has done this while Thomas Markle was undergoing life-saving surgery, which is going to change his life forever if he manages to pull through this, makes me sick. Because remember, it's exactly the same thing that they did with the Oprah Winfrey interview, as Prince Philip lay dying in hospital. But it got a lot worse. Because during the actual show, Prince Harry was booed by the liberal audience in New York as he made digs about the US President Donald Trump. Watch.
I heard you elected a king.
That's a fair point.
I mean, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, there was much more, by the way, and we will get to that in just one moment. But as Samantha has this message to everyone, I just pray to let everyone know that my father's situation is dire and that we really appreciate the prayers and the thoughts. I think about the fact that this poor man has had absolutely no contact from the woman who he raised. When I posted last night on X, having heard this news, pray for Thomas Markle, Julia Unleashed responded saying, Meghan, give your father a call. Life's too short for any silly stance you've decided to take. If you think you're hated now, you'll become even more vilified if something happens to your father. Get well soon, Thomas. And Thomas's son, Thomas Markle Jr., who is in the Philippines with his father, has released this new video over the past few hours on his own personal YouTube page, Thomas Markle Jr. and Friends. Watch.
And I want it to be known worldwide, that the man who did everything for her and she threw away like a piece of dog shit stuck to the bottom of her shoe, the man is in, I'm taking care of him. He's in really good care right now. And Meghan, you should be ashamed of yourself to show your face in public. You should be fucking ashamed. And I hope people who walk down the street in Montecito on Coast Village Road, where Lucky's, Trey Loon, the Coast Village Inn, where Harry probably lives more than he lives at your fucking house, right down the street from the Miramar. Yeah, I hope if you go to those, I hope people look at you and point from now on. That's that soulless, evil fucking bitch. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oh, I'm so sorry. Allegedly, in my opinion. Whose dad is suffering in intensive care, and she's gallivanting around the world pretending to be somebody when Meghan Markle is her only biggest fan to herself.
Let me bring in my superstar panel now, Neil and Christine Hamilton. Christine, this is an extraordinary situation. I mean, I was absolutely horrified when I found out what Thomas Markle was going through in the Philippines. This was very serious surgery on blood clots to save his life, Christine. Then I saw Meghan Markle had posted an Instagram story because I was up so late last night. I was talking to Sam Markle. I was just so worried about this situation, trying to do what I could, which unfortunately wasn't much. And I saw that Meghan Markle had posted an Instagram story and I thought, okay, maybe she's found her heart. Maybe she's actually realized that she's got to say something about her father, because at that point, Christine, they didn't even know if he was going to get out of the surgery alive. But it wasn't anything to do with it, Christine. She had posted that skit of Prince Harry making a fool of himself. And I just thought, these are not well people. They claim to be humanitarians, Christine, but the way that they treat their own family is not just reprehensible. I'm going to use the word evil, Christine, and I mean it. I actually really mean it. A very quick but personal message from me to you to let you know that the best way you can support Dan Wootton Outspoken is to subscribe to my Substack at www.outspoken.live. Substack is a free speech platform that protects me from big tech cancellation and lawfare. Paid annual or monthly subscribers get an extra hour of content with the Royal Uncancelled After Show available every weekday with no advertising whatsoever. You can also message me direct on there. That's www.outspoken.live.
It's horrific. I have absolutely no time for those two at all. I can't bear the thought, the sight, the sound of them, and I never ever want to see them in this country ever again. Their treatment of Meghan's father is absolutely appalling. You would think that Harry, I'm not even going to call him Prince Harry, the way he was brought up, to be courteous, to be kind, to be respectful, etc., etc., that alone would have taken him to Thomas Markle to say, may I ask for your daughter's hand in marriage? He has never met Thomas Markle, his father-in-law. I mean, it is disgusting the way they've treated him. Absolutely disgusting. Whatever engagement Harry had, and it was to appear on some late chat show thing, whatever his engagement was, he would have been, certainly it would have been understood if he had excused himself because he needed to go to his father-in-law's side. Instead of which, he chooses to do that ludicrous thing. I watched the whole thing. It's cringe-making. It reminds me of when Tony Blair was hand-clapped, slow hand-clapped by the WI. He simply didn't realise what a stupid idiot he was making of himself. I mean, his performance on that show is ghastly. I mean, it could have been light-hearted and fun, but because of the circumstances and the jokes fell absolutely flat. I mean, words fail me about them. They really, really do, those two. You would think he would have if he hasn't got the decency and he doesn't understand what the proper thing to do is, you'd think he would have the humanity. And you'd think Meghan, this man did everything for her. This man basically put his life on hold for her when she was younger, paid for all her education, continued paying for her education, paying it off, despite the fact that she was earning a fortune from Suits, because he thought that's what he should do. And this is how she repaid him. He's never seen his grandchildren. I mean, it really is horrific. People go on and on and on about the way Prince Andrew has behaved. He has not been proved to have done anything yet. And he possibly never will be. But the way he is vilified and the way Harry is allowed to get off scot-free, it's just appalling. I mean, I don't imagine the king will want to strip him of, he's already stripped his brother of his titles. He's not going to want to strip his son of any titles, but he's not worthy. He's not worthy of the title prince. He really isn't. It's absolutely shocking. And not a shred of decency from those two. They're interested in one thing, or two things. They're interested in each other separately, and they're interested in making money. And she's interested in the limelight the whole time. It's
100%.
It's unbelievable. Her father is possibly dying, and she just flibbity gibbets around.
Well, it was incredibly close to that. And remember, they were close. They were tight before she met Harry. So for anyone who says, oh, well, no, there were always issues between them, genuinely there were not. But Neil Hamilton, there's also a very serious aspect to this, right? And it's about the fact that Harry remains in the line of succession with royal titles, and he is wading into American politics in a very risky way. And that's where a lot of senior courtiers, Neil, say this just cannot go on. So for folk who don't know the background, Stephen Colbert is the hard left American Trump-hating comedian. He has recently been cancelled by CBS. And Harry actually said in this skit, which was clearly written by Stephen Colbert for Harry to deliver, I'll record a self-tape, I'll fly myself to audition, settle a baseless lawsuit with the White House, all of the things you people in TV do. And that is, of course, responding to the $36 million settlement that CBS made with Donald Trump. But Neil, they made that settlement with Donald Trump because they deceptively edited an interview with Kamala Harris on 60 Minutes before the last election. They chose to do that to avoid Trump going through with his threat of a lawsuit. But the point is, for King Charles to have Harry making jokes about this on a hard left American TV show is simply unpalatable.
Well, he is a national embarrassment, not just an embarrassment to himself. He is, of course, cerebrally challenged. He's only dimly aware of his own existence, I think. He's so stupid. In one sense, I think it's a mistake to dignify his stupidity by taking it seriously. He's actually quite far removed from any chance of succeeding to the throne. But nevertheless, I do take your point that when monarchs or others who are very close to them engage in highly divisive politics, as this is in the United States, and we could have seen it in this country too. We have comedians like whatever the fellow's name is, I've never heard of him, needless to say, but a deeply unpleasant individual he obviously is, then they're taking risks with the institution of monarchy itself. I think, by the way, that the king himself takes great risks with his obsession with so-called climate change and his climate change alarmism and so on. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he's the age he is and he's been doing it for a very long time. And he is a very conscientious man. But I certainly don't think that that people who are in the position of Prince Harry, let's still call him that, I suppose, and the King and others. Prince William is showing dangerous signs in relation to climate alarmism as well, of getting involved, going out to that COP summit in Brazil, etc. He did at least have the decency to go on a scheduled flight, unlike the Prime Minister, who went in his own private plane, or Ed Miliband, who went out there twice. He came back to do something useless in this country in the middle of it, and then went back again. I mean, these people are all world-class hypocrites in their differing ways, aren't they, as well? Because the lifestyles they lead are very, very far removed from the people who bear the consequences of their decisions and their stupidities, who have to pay the price. So, yeah, I do see where you're coming from, Dan, and I have great sympathy with what you say. But whether it's worth the effort in Harry's case, I don't know. He's made himself a foreigner in his own country. He's rejected his family, rejected his upbringing. He's been poisoned, I think, by this Cruella de Vil creature that he's married to, who lacks all the most basic instincts of common humanity, it seems to me. She's just a kind of human cash register with no feelings or emotions that matter at all. And she has the gall to call her dismal TV series, whatever it is, Love Meghan. Who does Meghan love? She loves Meghan, of course. Take the comma out of the title. She certainly doesn't love her father, who's given up everything for her at a time when they were very poor, and he undertook deliberately huge privation for himself in order to support her career. And having got what she wanted, she then cast him off like some unwanted, dirty old overcoat. I think it's absolutely appalling. Let them never darken the shores of this country ever again, either of them.
100%. And look, I do just want to show you a couple of my previous conversations with Thomas Markle, because obviously the horrible thing over the past couple of years is, remember, he had that terrible stroke and he's really had his voice and his speech stolen from him. And that's really upsetting, obviously. But I think what's fascinating when I was looking back at these interviews overnight is that, yes, he was incredibly angry and disgusted, especially with Harry, but also by the way that his daughter had lied to the world. He was open and actually, I would argue, desperate for reconciliation. He intended to come to London for the late Queen's Platinum Jubilee in an attempt to reconcile with his daughter and her husband, who, as Christine rightly pointed out, never even bothered to ask him permission to marry his daughter, never even bothered to meet him in person before marrying his daughter, which shows a huge arrogance. Watch this. But first, as we get older, you notice it. After a cold, a hard workout, even a long week, recovery just isn't as quick as it used to be, right? That bounce back factor matters. And it turns out the secret isn't luck, it's stem cells, your body's built-in repair crew. With age, that system slows down. Fewer cells, weaker signals, slower recovery. That's exactly why Qualia created Qualia Stem Cell. Think of it this way. Your cells are powerful. Qualia Stem Cell helps keep them that way. It's crafted with nature's heavy lifters, sea buckthorn, royal jelly, and more to support your body's natural repair system so you can keep moving, healing, and thriving. You don't have to accept slowing down. This is about supporting better aging by reactivating the systems that help you bounce back. And it's refreshingly simple. You take it just 4 days a month. So if you've ever felt like your body just doesn't bounce back like it used to, whether it's after a tough workout, getting sick, or just the wear and tear of life, this is for you. Qualia Stem Cell was designed to support your body's natural repair systems, helping you heal, recover, and keep going strong. And right now, you can try it for up to 50% off at qualialife.com/Dan. And here's a bonus. Use the code Dan for an additional 15% off your order. So that's QUALIA life.com/Dan. Your body's built to repair itself. Qualia just helps it do it that better. And a big thanks, by the way, to Qualia for sponsoring this episode of Outspoken. But now, back to the show.
See, I love both my daughters. I'm not happy with what one of my daughters is doing, and I don't know what caused her to do this. We've had this conversation before, but she's telling lies, and she's been telling lies about me. She's been telling me lies about my son. I don't understand what they're doing. Like I said, they live alone in a 26-room house, and they don't go anywhere. They don't do anything. Their charities don't accomplish anything. I don't know what Harry does besides walking his dogs and riding his bike. This man abandoned his country, and he expects them now to treat him like a royal. I'm getting the feeling that if they know I'm coming, they won't be coming. But if they do come, I would love to. I would love to reach out and speak with them and try to figure out what went wrong and how we can repair it.
He wanted to do that, and she threw it back in his face. Now, Neil mentions with Love, Meghan, the holiday celebration was released this week. It's one of the worst 59 minutes of television I have ever seen. You can watch our full review if you go to the Video Royal feed on Dan Wootton Outspoken's YouTube page. But Sarah Vine of the Daily Mail has been entered into a war with Narinder Kaur because of her view on the series. Watch this.
Meghan Markle is back with a Christmas special. It's a trailer for her Christmas special with Love Netflix show, which is not to be confused with her as ever range of jams, which I always get confused. And it's her twinkling around at home. It's quite funny. At one point, Prince Harry shows up and he's sort of eating something out of a bowl of cereal, and he does slightly look like a man who's been playing Call of Duty for 3 days in the basement, and you can see him thinking, what the hell is going on here? And at one point, we actually get a wreath, which seems to be made out of vegetables, which I think all the children are going to want this Christmas. But anyway, it's so kind of cheesy and so unbelievably saccharine. I mean, honestly, I don't know how she does it without sort of bursting into laughter. But she talks a lot about the importance of family at Christmas and the importance of traditions. Given that this is a woman who refuses to see her own father and won't let her children see their grandfather, it is a little bit hard to swallow. It ends with a very nice close-up of some jam, just in case you wanted to buy some.
Hey, look! Our very own billionaire King Charles, billionaire, who's exempt from so many taxes, inheritance tax. His profits from the duchies of Cornwall and Lancaster are exempt from capital gains tax and corporation tax. And by the way, they profit from the NHS, and army and cancer charities. But Sarah Vine from the Daily Mail, who called me a bottom feeder once, she wants to talk about Meghan Sussex, her new holiday show on Netflix, how her hair's wrong, her eyeshadow's wrong, she doesn't let the king see the grandkids, lies. And she hasn't really talked about Prince Andrew and his scandal with paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. It's pretty bizarre, isn't it? No criticism of William, no criticism of Charles, no criticism of any of them profiting from this country while 4 million children live in poverty. But their target is Meghan Sussex. Wild.
Well, of course, Christine Hamilton, Narinder's speaking bullshit again, because if it was not for the British journalistic institutions, including the News of the World, where I used to work, that first revealed Andrew's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, what he got up to would never have been revealed.
No, indeed not. I mean, poor Narinder Kaur, she's a bit like Meghan in a way. She's desperate to be useful and to be noticed, and she's never got over not being chosen to do Strictly. And she's desperate to try and keep in the limelight. I mean, Sarah Vine is always wonderful. Her pithy, bitchy column is great. What was the question? Sorry.
So you're backing Sarah. I do actually.
Of course, I'm backing Sarah. The idea that anybody in the entire world, never mind me, needs help as to how to hang a little bauble on a Christmas tree or how to make a wreath out of vegetables. I mean, what? You know.
What was really interesting?
It's so patronising. It is so patronising. And sorry, just to interrupt again, just in case anybody thinks that I'm incredibly old-fashioned when I say I think Harry should have gone and asked for Meghan's hand in marriage. Of course, he doesn't have to do that. He could have, as a politeness, just gone and said, I'm planning to ask your daughter. I hope that's okay. You don't have to ask permission. Nobody expects anybody to actually ask permission anymore. So I just wanted to put that out there before anybody starts piling in.
Very good point. And look, she's talking about King Charles and Catherine, but I actually just want to show you what the real royals were doing overnight. And what's so sad is we would have been leading on this if it were not for Harry's latest intervention and Meghan's cruelty towards her father, because this state banquet where Catherine was utterly incredible and wearing the new tiara was just beautiful to see. What did you think, Neil?
What of the tiara? I think I must get one for Christine. But
It's not new, Dan. It's very old.
Oh,
It's
yes,
not
sorry.
new
I
at
mean,
all.
I mean,
that
I
we
was
don't-
just thinking I should clarify. This is a tiara which has never been worn by Catherine, the Princess of Wales, before. And what's so fascinating about this is that it's usually only worn by the Queen.
Ah, right. Well, her time will come, won't it, in due course? But yeah, I'm afraid I don't really have many views on tiaras, but it's not really part of my world. But no, it was a glittering occasion, and she does the job. Of course, the contrast with the ghastly Harridan from California couldn't be more complete, could it? And you know, she's understated, she's genuine, authentic, she's interested in people, and she obeys the call of duty. And that's what people in her position have to do if they're to do the job properly. And it's all about duty, you know. I know they live lives of pampered luxury in so many different ways, but nobody could say that the king, for all his faults, is not a dutiful and conscientious monarch as he was a dutiful and conscientious Prince of Wales. What we see with Prince Harry is the polar opposite. You know, somebody who's just a taker, not a giver, who's somebody who has rejected his position, which justifies his having a title. So I well see where you were coming from in our last discussion about this. Is if you're not prepared to do the job, why should you have the trappings and the fripperies that go with it? A good argument for saying no, he shouldn't have these things. And without the titles, of course, where would Meghan be? And that's the whole basis of her grifting enterprises, because that's what she is. You know, she's the world's biggest grifter.
Christine and Neil Hamilton, I adore you. Christine, good luck. Good luck with all your canapes.
Thank you.
For your big Christmas gathering tomorrow. I wish I was there. You send me some pictures of the food. I'll be very, very jealous.
£10 admission, first glass of wine free.
Worth it. Fully worth it. And of course, we will be speaking to you for a special show over the Christmas period. So it's not the last we've seen of the Hamiltons before Christmas. So thank you both so much. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.